Welcome to my channel. My name is Cynthia and you're watching Mountain Accent Sewing. Today is a Friday sew, so we're going to have some sewing chat and not much about life and announce a winner. First off, you'll know that I was working on a shirt for my son. It is the McCall's M6044 and I was just doing a long sleeve version with two front pockets, standard back, and just long sleeves with a cuff. And I have made no progress. So I still have just the two fronts with the back, and the sleeves are attached. And it is a two-part sleeve, so it does create a nice band at the bottom, this little placket. So I just need to add the cuff and the collar pieces. So it will have a collar stand and a collar. And I was going to work on that, and I decided I needed to start my Grainline Studio Archer shirt. So let's talk about that. The Grainline Archer or Grainline Studio Archer shirt has been around for a while, and it's a nice fitting, just women's button-up shirt, and I've been wanting to make it for a while, but I was a little nervous about matching my plaid. So we received a beautiful brushed cotton in our Beyond the Pink Door Think Pink subscription box, and I've been subscribing to that for a while, off and on, and I will link Andrea's shop below if you're interested in looking at her subscription boxes or her kits or her fabric. But she is located in the UK, and it does cost a little bit more now to ship to the US than what it used to, but it's still not terrible. At least for now, I can still afford it. So I waited till this past weekend, and my husband and son were out of town, and I had the house to myself, and I was able to lay my fabric out in a single layer in the living room floor. And I laid it out so that I was trying to line up these darker blue stripes here. And I was making sure, like at the arm side here and at the hem, that it was ending and beginning and ending in the same place. And then I decided for the button placket that I wanted to cut it on the bias, and I also wanted to cut my yoke pieces on the bias. I also cut the collar. There's one collar piece that they have you cut on the bias, but it is recommended in the pattern. None of the others are recommended in the pattern. And I also cut the cuffs for the arms on the bias. And we'll see how it turns out. So I have constructed my front and back yoke to the back and my front pieces. And on the left bodice piece, it's a separate piece. And you'll see that it is the same as the fabric. They have you just fold it over a couple of times and stitch it down, and there is a piece of interfacing down there. Now those instructions I don't think are the best. I've made button-up shirts before, and even on my son's quick sew pattern, I feel like I understood their instructions better than I did the Grainline Studio instructions. And they've constructed a little bit different too than what I have previously made. So if I understood correctly, it's a double fold, whereas I have previously, you have a little bit of a space for like folding over maybe a 1/4 inch, and then having your interfacing, and then you would just fold that over, and then that your fabric edge is hidden in that 1/4 inch, and you're stitching it down instead of doing a double fold. I hope that makes sense. And then on the right placket, it has a separate button placket piece, and that is the one I cut on the bias. And it did have interfacing in it. And again, the instructions for attaching it were a little different from what I've done previously with button-up shirts. But I'm very happy with this, and this will be on the top when I'm wearing it, because this will be the one with the buttonholes. Now, when I was laying them down to see if all my lines was going to line up, and it's hard to show here, I'm not sure if I can show it. They were slightly off, and I was a little concerned. And so I did some finagling and trimming to make it work. So I pinned my plackets together to where the lines would line up. And then I looked to see how much of overhang there was at the top and at the bottom. And it was just, I'm not even sure if it would have been a 1/4 inch difference. So I just trimmed that off and kind of curved the neckline so that it looked even, and I did the same for the bottom. And again, we'll see how it works out once I get it completed, but I think it's going to work just fine. And then on the back you have an inverted pleat and this gorgeous yoke, and I really like the way it looks with the being cut on the bias. And then I also added a label, and I'm very happy with the progress. I just haven't had time to work on it anymore this week, but I feel like I've gotten a lot done with that. So I don't like but the sleeves and the adding the collar and hemming for this one, and I already have the collar constructed, and so all I have to do is attach it at a later step. That is all the sewing that I have been working on. And yeah, life has just been busy. It's been a very cold week here. I've been at work, and I've also spent a day at the hospital with a loved one, and that was unexpected. But yeah, they're going to be okay. And but it's not fun being at the hospital. It was like an all-day affair, it seemed like. That's all I'm going to say about life. Some weeks are great, and some weeks are just so-so, and this week was just so-so. and on the life front. But now on the sewing front, I feel like I've had a good week. But let's announce the winner. This is video's short and sweet one. Again, thanks to Jen at Today in Jen's Sewing Room for creating this hashtag. I'm glad that sewers like myself can come here and share, and we can find other sewists under that hashtag Friday Sews. If you don't know about my special announcement, in my last Friday Sews, I announced that I was going to do a giveaway for my viewers. Thank you to everyone who watched my video, gave me a thumbs up, and those who commented and entered the giveaway. I had 16 people who entered, and all of you named a different pattern, so it was great seeing what pattern was on your wish list. So my hashtag was sewing pattern wish list, and all the patterns that you have named are all different, and there's some great patterns here. But 16 people entered, and I wanted to use a random number generator to choose the winner. And so it'll be 1 to 16. Let's see who the winner is. Now, before I show you the screen, I've entered in the 1 to 16, and it has a number there, but I've not actually hit generate yet. So it is the next one that pops up will be the winner. So I don't know if you can see that. And let's see if I can hit the right place. I'm not sure how well it showed up on the screen. I didn't have time to try to set up the screen sharing. I was just trying to get this done because I've got to get to work. The winner is number 7, and that is Sweet Melissa. And I'll put your full name down here on the screen. And the pattern pick is the Paper Theory Zadie jumpsuit. So I'll be sending that to you, Melissa. If you want to reach out to me in my email, I'll enter that below and send me your email address, and I will send this pattern to you. I've really enjoyed offering this giveaway, and I'm going to do another one for the month of November. And here in the U.S., we celebrate Thanksgiving, and so I'm going to make my next giveaway geared around Thanksgiving. And I'm going to do this one for, you can enter through next Friday. So what would that be, like the 21st, I think? 12 noon U.S. or Eastern Standard Time. And then I will announce the winner the following week. I'm not sure what day my video will come out, if I want to be doing a Friday sews or not. So we'll have a winner announced before Thanksgiving. So stay tuned for that. And here's how you enter. Of course, I would like for you to be subscribed to the channel, click like, and comment. And in the comments, tell me something that you're thankful for. So it's very easy to enter. I know I am thankful that I have a good family. So tell me what you were thankful for. That's all you have to do to enter. I look forward to reading your comments, and I'll see you next time.